Long ago, in a prosperous kingdom nestled between the great river and the ancient mountains, there lived a woman named Adanna. Her name meant father's daughter, and she was indeed precious to her father, the village chief. When Adanna came of age, her father arranged a marriage to a wealthy merchant. Adanna's husband was kind and generous, and soon she discovered she was with child. A child born to the chief's daughter would be blessed indeed. But Adanna's joy was mixed with a strange unease she could not name. Dreams troubled her sleep, dreams of paths that twisted back upon themselves. 3 months before the child was due, Adanna's husband insisted they visit the great diviner who lived at the edge of the sacred forest. "We must know the child's destiny," he said, "so we can prepare properly for their future." The diviner's compound was surrounded by tall baobab trees whose twisted branches seemed to write warnings in the sky. The old woman who greeted them had eyes white with cataracts, yet she seemed to see everything. She was called Momankiru, and it was said she had looked into the face of tomorrow and survived. Momankiru threw her sacred bones onto the mat, ancient bones passed down through 7 generations of seers. She studied them in the firelight, and as she did, her expression changed. The wrinkles on her face deepened with sorrow. "Speak, wise one," Adanna's husband urged. "What do you see for our child?" For a long moment, Momankiru said nothing. Then she spoke, and her voice was heavy as stone. "The child in this woman's womb is a boy." Momankiru's voice became a whisper. "If this child lives, if he grows to manhood in this place, he will one day become his mother's husband. The son will marry the mother, and when the truth is revealed, madness and death will follow." Adanna screamed. Her husband leaped to his feet, overturning the mat. "You lie. You speak curses, not prophecy." But Momankiru remained calm. "I speak only what the bones reveal."
"Run while you still can. You must be brave."
Adanna's husband refused to believe it, and dragged Adanna home.
"You're hurting me!"
But the seed of fear had been planted. As Adanna's belly grew, so did her terror. She had heard too many stories of prophecies that came true despite all efforts to prevent. Perhaps, Adanna whispered to herself in the dark, if we truly send the child away, the prophecy will fail. When her husband died suddenly, struck by lightning during a freak storm 3 weeks before the birth, Adanna saw it as a sign. The prophecy was already in motion. She became obsessed with preventing its fulfillment. The child was born on a night of no moon, a boy, just as Momankiru had predicted. Adanna held him for only 1 hour, memorizing his face, breathing in his scent, then she did what she believed she must do. Before dawn, Adanna wrapped her son in the finest cloth and placed him in a sturdy basket. She found a merchant captain she knew to be honest, a man who traveled to the northern kingdoms beyond the. "Take this child," she begged, pressing gold into his hands. "Raise him as your own, or find him a good home far from here." The captain, moved by her tears and the weight of the gold, agreed. He named the boy Chaik, meaning power of God, and raised him in a city 1,000 miles away. Adanna returned to her father's compound and told everyone the baby had died in childbirth. Years passed. Adanna refused all offers of remarriage, claiming her grief was too great. She devoted herself to managing her late husband's trading business, proving herself shrewd and capable. She became wealthy in her own right, respected and feared in business dealings. But she never forgot the son she had sent away. On his birth date each year, she would climb to the highest hill and look north, wondering if he was safe, if he was happy, if her sacrifice had been worth it. 25 years passed like water through fingers. One day, a young man arrived in Adanna's village. He was tall and handsome, with an intelligent face and confident bearing. He introduced himself as Chaik, a merchant from the north seeking to establish new trading partnerships. Adanna, now in her late 40s but still beautiful, met with him to discuss business. Over the weeks that Chaik stayed in the village, he and Adanna spent increasing time together. They discovered they shared a love of strategy. They laughed at the same jokes. Adanna tried to resist the feelings growing in her heart, but Czech was constant in his admiration, and the elders saw nothing wrong with it. A wealthy widow and a promising young merchant would make an excellent match. "You are unlike any woman I have ever met," Czech told her one evening as they watched the sunset. "You understand me in ways no one else ever has. It feels as though I have known you all my life, though we met only months ago." Adanna's heart twisted, but she attributed the feeling to the guilt of falling in love again after so many years of mourning.